So Troy said that reading Dante brought back memories of places that he hadn't been in a long time. Troy has strong faith and wisdom, believing that the power of life will bring you through hell. Troy worked as a tour guide in New York for 7 years, so came to know the place well. And interestingly, in the Inferno, Virgil is Dante's tour guide, but Dante also acts as a tour guide for the readers. So for Troy, the tour guide's guide, he has chosen his brother Carl, who was a longtime New Yorker. And sadly, it was the tragic death of his brother Carl that brought Troy to the city to help care for his brother's fiancée who was with child. He ended up staying for a long time, coming to know the city, and so for this story, he has turned New York into his own version of the Inferno, designating different places to be the different levels of hell. So he has a place for the lustful, for the gluttonous, for the fraudulent, and this scene is in Port Authority, which is his limbo. Interestingly, he's also put his paradise, or heaven, in New York, the brightest place, the center of Times Square, where he compares the coming back of Christ to the dropping of the glittering ball on New Year's. And so you can see how, I think even in this excerpt that we're going to do, where we're both playing Troy, you can see the paradoxes that he has present all in one place, the riches and the poverty, the light and the dark, and the cacophony of temptations and emotions, and so much noise.
New York, it's a hell of a town. The Bronx is up and the Battery's down. People riding all on the ground. New York, it's a hell of a town.
Through me the way into eternal sorrow. Through me the way among the lost peoples.
New York, big city of dreams, but everything in New York ain't always what it seems. You might get fooled if you come from out of town, but I'm down by law and I know my way around.
Too much, too many people, too much. As I was led by my guide, I descended down the steps, each harder and harder to take. A journey taken every day by so many, and yet fear had crept into my bones.
On the surface, I noticed white smoke billowing up from underground. Not knowing from where it was produced, I tried to enter at 8th and 42nd, which houses Port Authority.
In New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of, there's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York.
Through these doors, many enter. It is your connection to the world. Trains, planes, automobiles, buses, all start off here. This is a place that can connect you to any point on earth. And yet all around me, I could see the remnants of poverty, despair, debauchery, ugliness, hurt, pain, loneliness.
The gift of life really means a lot, and in the ghetto, your life is all you got. So you take to the streets, trying to exist in the trash and the slime of a world like this. What you watch on TV tells you how life ought to be, but when you look around, the only thing you see is the poverty-stricken reality. Too much. Too many people, too much. It was easy to see the despair on their faces. Those lying in the gutter, those provocatively dressed, and yet somehow they were familiar. Like I knew them. They could be me. Their sighs, weeping, loud wailing, resounded through the starless air. They cursed God and their parents and the human race, the place and the time and the seed of their sowing and of their birth.
Sounds, the honking of horns, the blaring of whistles, all in hurry.
In New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of, there's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York.
Strange languages.
Horrible tones.
Words of pain.
Accents of anger.
Voices loud and hoarse.
And the sounds of blows with them made a tumult that turned forever, and that air darkened without time. Like the sand when a whirlwind blows. And I said, what is this I hear? And who is this people so overcome by grief? They have no hope.
Abandoned places, angry faces, much hate and hunger throughout the races. So you run in the rain trying to ease your pain. Oh, but it drives you insane.
Too much. Too many people, too much. We walked for what seemed like forever, but the darkness remained the same. There was minimum light.
I could not tell if it was natural light or the many signs, billboards that were on every building, from adult video stores to nail salons to dry cleaners. which was ironic because the only clothing people wore was black, no color.
These streets will make you feel brand new. Big lights will inspire you. Let's hear it for New York.
Tall buildings, short buildings. The smell of death loomed in the air. It seemed to still be coming from each tunnel entrance we passed, avenue by avenue and street by street, which seems to never end.
The scenery became more depressing with each step. With so many people, it's hard to find a place to be alone. And yet it's one of the loneliest places in the world.
New York, big city of dreams, but everything in New York ain't always what it seems. Might get fooled if you come from out of town, but I'm down by law and I know my way around.
Too much, too many people, too much. The dark landscape trembled so violently that in terror my memory bathed me again with sweat. The tearful earth gave forth the wind that flashed with crimson light. These streets will make you feel brand new. Big lights will inspire you. Let's hear it for New York, New York, New York.